Hello everyone, this is Swati, working as assistant professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering in Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Dindigul. Welcome to today's lecture. In this lecture, we'll discuss about the operation of asynchronous and synchronous counters. So, we all know that counters are of two types, synchronous counters and asynchronous counters. We'll see what is the difference between synchronous and asynchronous counter and how to implement the asynchronous and synchronous counters using flip-flops and their operations and the various types of synchronous and asynchronous counters in this lecture. Basically, what do you mean by counter? Counter is a sequential circuit which counts the number of pulses produced by the clock input, and it can also be used to count number of occurrences of an event. So the counter is a sequential circuit which is used to count the number of pulses generated by the clock input, and also it can be used for counting the number of occurrences of an event. So the counter is major application of a flip-flop. So we can also design registers using flip-flops. So this counters is the major applications of flip-flops here. We have several types of counters, and here the value of counter represent the number of clock pulses that arrived at the clock input of the flip-flop. So here when the clock pulses are counted, we have two types of counters basically. Those are up counter and down counter. So what do you mean by up counter? So when the clock pulses are counted in an incremental order, then it is said to be up counter. When the counter counts the pulses in the decremental order, then such type of counter is called as down counter. That means for every applied clock pulse, if the count is decremented, then the type of counter is called as down counter. So in order to design an n-bit binary counter, we require n flip-flops. So if you are designing an n-bit counter, you can count 2 power n distinct clock pulses. That means an n-bit counter can undergo 2 power n output states. So each of that 2 power n combinations, input combinations, can be considered as a state here. So that means to design an n-bit counter, we require n flip-flops, and an n-bit counter can undergo 2 power n output states, which is used to count 2 power n states here. So for example, if you are designing a 2-bit counter, we require 2 flip-flops, and if you are designing a 2-bit counter, we can count 2 power 2, which is 4 states, and the 4 states can be 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. These are the output states that a 2-bit counter can undergo. Similarly, if you are designing a 3-bit counter, it requires 3 flip-flops, and it can undergo 2 power 3, that is 8 states, and the 8 states can be 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1, 1. So these are the number of states that a 3-bit counter can undergo. This 3-bit counter can be used to 8 clock pulses. So a binary counter, that means in which the clock pulses are counted in binary sequence, has maximum count limit of 2 power n minus 1. That means, for example, as we have seen, a 2-bit counter can count 4 pulses, and those are from 0, 0 to 1, 1. So what is a binary sequence? What is the decimal equivalent of this? 0 to 3. So that means the maximum count limit can be varied from maximum count limit of an n-bit counter can be 2 power n minus 1. Here if it is a 2-bit counter, that is 2 power 2 minus 1, which is equals to 4 minus 1 is equals to 3. So that is the maximum count limit that an n-bit counter can undergo is 2 power n minus 1. Next, a 3-bit counter can have, so in the same fashion, a 3-bit counter can have maximum count of 2 power 3 minus 1, which is 7. That means the counting can be started from 0000 to 111. That means 0 to 7. This is for a 3-bit binary counter. So here, after this, so still if you are applying the clock pulses, after counting, that means for example, it is considered a 3-bit counter. We are applying the clock pulses continuously. After the count has changed from 00 to 111, so it has been counted 8 pulses. So after this maximum count limit, the counter again goes to the initial state, which is nothing but 000, and again the count will start. So this is the operation of a counter. So now I already told you that we have a number of types of counters we have. So based on the construction of these counters, that means based on the connections provided to the flip-flops. So as we all know that counters can be constructed using flip-flops, right? So based on the connection of flip-flops, so we can have different types of counters. Those are asynchronous counters and synchronous counters. And also based on the counting sequence, we can also have decade counter, another type of counter which is a decade counter, and another type we can have is ring counter and Johnson counter. So in this lecture, we'll be studying about asynchronous and synchronous counter. So here, now let us see what do you mean by asynchronous counter. So as I told you that based on the construction of counters using flip-flops, we can classify the counters into basically 2 types, asynchronous and synchronous. So for example, if I want to design a 4-bit counter, I need to cascade 4 flip-flops together, and the connection should be such that if the clock pulse applied to all the flip-flops in the same fashion, then that means if a same clock is applied to all the flip-flops used, then that type of counter is called as synchronous counter. If all the flip-flops are applied with different clocks, then that type of counter is called as asynchronous counter. So here, asynchronous counter. So it consists of a series of flip-flops in which the output of one flip-flop is connected to the clock input of the next higher order flip-flop. Basically, the first clock pulse whose pulses are the clock signal whose pulses are to be counted is given as clock input to the first flip-flop. So the clock signal whose pulses I want to count is to be given as clock input to the first flip-flop, and the remaining all the flip-flops are applied. That means the output of one flip-flop is given as the clock input to the next flip-flop, and similar fashion this will be continued for all the other flip-flops. Only the first flip-flop is applied with the clock signal whose pulses are to be counted at the clock input. So this type of counter is called as asynchronous counter. So the flip-flop that means the flip-flops in the asynchronous counter are triggered individually. That means they are not synchronized. They are working with different clock pulses. So that is why we are calling it as asynchronous counter. So here this asynchronous counter is also called as ripple counter. So again, the asynchronous counters can also be classified further into 3 types: asynchronous up counter, asynchronous down counter, and asynchronous up or down counter. So as we all know that up counter means if the count is in the incremental order, that means if the counter counts the pulses in the incremental order, then that type of counter is called as up counter. So that means if initially if the state of the counter is 00, during the next clock pulse it has to go to 001. Next, during the next clock pulse, it has to go to the next state 010. So what is the decimal equivalent here? 0, 1, 2 and so on. That means if the count of pulse is in the incremental order, then that type of counter is called as up counter. If the count is decremental order, that means if the initial count is 111, for the first clock pulse, if the count has changed to 110 and during the next clock pulse 101 and so on, it will go up to 000. That means initially it was in 111 state, and after due to the application of clock pulses continuously, the count is decrementing. So such type of counters is called as down counter. That means the counter which counts in the decremental order is said to be down counter. And we can also have one more type, that is asynchronous up and down counter. That means I can use this counter for counting in the incremental order as well as for counting in the decremental order. So that means I can perform bidirectional counting. So that type of counter is called as asynchronous up-down counter. So now let us see the up counter first. The basic counter I want to discuss here is 2-bit asynchronous up counter. So as I want to design a 2-bit counter, so I require 2 flip-flops. So always you remember, in order to design asynchronous counter or any synchronous counter, we always will be using D flip-flop or JK flip-flop. So here I'm using JK flip-flops. So as I want to design a 2-bit counter, I require 2 flip-flops. So where the count is incremented for each clock, because I want to implement asynchronous up counter. So I want to increment the count for every clock pulse. That means the pulses have to be counted in the incremental order. So now, as we are designing a 2-bit asynchronous counter, the number of states that it can undergo is 4, and the 4 states are 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. Let us see how this counter undergoes this 4 states. Let us see the operation of this 2-bit asynchronous counter. So the 2-bit asynchronous counter will count 4 states. So the states are 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. Now let us see what is the structure of a 2-bit asynchronous counter and how it operates and how it undergoes the 4 states. Those are defined here, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1. So this is a 2-bit asynchronous counter logic circuit, or so where we have used JK flip-flop, and both the JK flip-flops, J and K inputs are tied to logic high. So here if you observe, J and K inputs are tied to logic high. That means we are making continuously applying logic 1 as a inputs to J and K. And here if you observe, the first flip-flop is applied with the clock signal, whose pulses are to be counted. So this is the clock signal. I want to count the pulses in this clock signal, and the output of this first flip-flop, which is Q, is taken as the clock input to the second flip-flop. So here we are taking the output from the Q. So as you all know that if any flip-flop can have 2 outputs, that is Q and Q complement. So I am taking Q as the output here. That is Q. I am representing the output of first flip-flop as QA and the second flip-flop as QB. So this is the structure of 2-bit asynchronous counter, where the 2 flip-flops are applied with different clocks here. The clock whose pulses are to be counted are applied as clock input to the first flip-flop, and the output of the first flip-flop, which is Q, is applied as clock input to the second flip-flop. And if you observe here, we have a bubble at the clock signal, so which indicates that these 2 are the flip-flops which triggers at negative edge of the clock. That means these 2 are the JK flip-flops, or else we can also say these are the negative edge triggered JK flip-flops. So this is the structure of 2-bit asynchronous counter. Now let us analyze the operation here. So here this is the structure, and as I told you that we have output taken from the Q inputs of both the flip-flops, that is J and K flip-flops. So here now QA is the output of the first flip-flop and QB is the output of the second flip-flop. So here we can see that the structure of this JK flip-flop, as we are tying them together. So we can call this as a T flip-flop also. And here the T input is connected to high. As we all know that the output of T flip-flop, so that is when T and Q of T plus 1. So this is a truth table. So when it is 0, the next state is equals to when the toggle input is 0, the next state is equals to the present state. When the toggle input is 1, next state is equals to the complement of present state. This is the truth table that we need to remember when we are analyzing the operation of this counter. So now here, and we are taking the output from the two flip-flops QA and QB, where QA is considered as LSB, this is considered as LSB, and QB is considered as MSB. I hope you know that LSB is least significant bit and MSB is the most significant bit. Now let us analyze the output of the JK flip-flop here, this 2-bit asynchronous counter. So before that, first let us see. Initially, let us consider both the flip-flops are in reset state. Both the flip-flops are in reset state. That means here QB, QA are equals to 0, 0. I said QB is the MSB and QA is the LSB. So reset state means both the flip-flops are clear. Now I am applying the clock pulse. So as my inputs J and K are connected to high, so the output is the complement of present state. Now the present state is 0. So what happens? This one, so which is the output of first flip-flop is toggled here, which is equals to 1 because it is a complement of present state. So now what we have a transition here. So as I already told you that both are negative edge triggered flip-flops. Negative edge triggered flip-flop means whenever there is a transition in the clock from 1 to 0, then only the state of the flip-flop will be changing. So that is why. So here during the negative edge of the clock pulse, the first JK flip-flop toggles and changes its state to 1. Whereas now this output is given as input to the clock input to the second flip-flop. Initially this output was 0. Now it has changed to 1. Now what is the transition we had here? 0 to 1 transition. Is it a negative edge? No, because it is given as clock here. Is it a negative edge? No, it is a positive edge or else raising edge. So that is why this flip-flop, as we have connected to high, J and K inputs are connected to high, but the clock is having a transition of 0 to 1. That means we have a positive edge and hence there will not be any change in the state of the second flip-flop and hence it remains in the same state. What was the present state here? 0. So that is why it remains in the present state 0. Okay, so now let us understand the operation of this counter very clear with respect to timing diagram. So here this is the timing diagram. So what you need to understand is during the trailing edge or else negative edge in the clock pulse, the first flip-flop will change its state, whereas the output of first flip-flop is given as input, clock input to the second flip-flop. So that is why when there is a transition in the output of first flip-flop from 1 to 0, then only the second flip-flop can change its state or else the output can be toggled here. So now this is the timing diagram of this 2-bit synchronous counter. So initially we are considering the clock pulses. Okay, so these are the clock pulses. As I told you that we are considering the flip-flops are negative edge triggered flip-flops. So this is, I'm considering the negative edge of the clock. So where the clock is changing from 1 to 0. So now initially as I told you that the flip-flops are cleared. So that means both the outputs of the flip-flops are 0 and 0. So during the negative edge of the clock pulse, the first flip-flop output will be toggled from 0 to 1 because both the inputs are connected to 1. When both the inputs are connected to 1, the next state is the complement of present state. So what is the present state here? 0. So as we have got negative edge and both the inputs are connected to 1, logic 1. So it will be, the next state will be the complement of present state. So where the present state is 0, it will be changing its state to 1. So this is 1. So whereas this is given as input to the clock input to the second flip-flop. So what is the transition we have in the output of the first clock pulse? First flip-flop, that is 0 to 1. It is not a negative edge, it is a positive edge. So that is why it remains in the same state. So it will be remaining in the same state even for the next clock pulse. So now again during the negative, so here again we have a transition, but this transition is from 0 to 1. So as we have considered the flip-flops as negative edge, so even though this is changing, there will not be any change in the state of the first flip-flop. It remains in the state 1 itself. And again, during the negative edge of the clock, as we have continuously connected J and K inputs together to 1. So again, the next state is a complement of present state. What is the present state now? It is 1. So that is why it is complemented to 0. Now, if you observe the output of first flip-flop, so we have a transition from 1 to 0. That means it is considered as negative edge of the clock signal which is applied to the second flip-flops. As we have come across the negative edge, so the flip-flop can change its state such that it is equal to the complement of present state, where the present state is 0. So now it has become 1. Now again, during the negative edge, it will be toggled here 0 to 1. So as the transition is from 0 to 1, again it is a positive edge. So it remains in the present state itself. Now again we have a transition at the negative edge here. So it is changing from 1 to 0. So now we can see a transition in the output of the first flip-flop, that is 1 to 0. So again we can observe a negative edge at the clock of the second flip-flop, and hence again the second flip-flop can change its state such that it is equals to the complement of present state. Now initially the present state was 0 0. Now during the first clock pulse, negative edge of the clock, the count was 0 1 because QB is MSB and QA is LSB. So 0 1, and next it has changed it to 1 0 and 1 1. After counting the 4 clock pulses, as I said, it will again go back to its initial state. What was the initial state? 0 0. So again it has entered into 0 0 state. Again the count will start from 0 1 2 3 and so on. This counting will be repeated. So this is a counting sequence 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1 0 0 and so on. So that means it is counting the pulses in the incremental order. So that is why we are calling it as up counter. As both the flip-flops are working with different clocks, so we are calling it as asynchronous up counter, 2-bit asynchronous up counter. So this is 2-bit asynchronous up counter. I hope it is clear. Now let us see the 3-bit asynchronous up counter. So as we all know that, so the number of flip-flops required is equals to the number of bits in a counter. So as we are designing a 3-bit asynchronous counter, we require 3 T flip-flops here. So in that, as we are using 3 T flip-flops, we can count 2 power 3, that is 8 states here, and those states will be starting from 0 0 0 to 1 1 1. So these are the 8 states. That means the count limit will be varying from 0 to 7. Once the count has reached to 1 1 1, that is 7, again the count will be started from 0 0 0. So that means the count will be always done from 0 0 0 to 1 1 1. Still, if the clock pulses are applied, the count sequence again repeated from 0 0 0 to 1 1 1. So this is the logic circuit of 3-bit synchronous counter. There is no much difference between 2-bit asynchronous up counter and 3-bit asynchronous counter. So we have only an extra flip-flop added where the output of second flip-flop is given as the clock input to the third flip-flop. And even we are connecting J and K inputs together to clock to the high data, that is logic 1, and even the clock pulse is applied to the first flip-flop whose pulses are to be counted, and the output of one flip-flop is given as clock input to the next flip-flop, and these are also considered to be negative edge triggered flip-flops. So this is the 3-bit asynchronous counter, and initially we are considering these flip-flops are all reset. That means initially the state of the counter is 0 0 0. Now let us analyze the operation of this one. So here now the clock pulses are given to the first flip-flop, and the output of one flip-flop is given as a clock input to the next flip-flop, and all the flip-flops are considered to be negative edge triggered, and the output is again taken in the order QA, QB, QC, QB, QA, where QC is considered as the QC is considered as the MSB and QA is considered as the LSB, least significant bit. Okay, so now let us explain the operation of this flip-flop. So initially this was 0 0 0. Now during the first clock pulse, what happens? As it is, we have 0 0 0 here. So this is QA, QB, QC, QB, QA. So we are applying the clock pulse to this one during the negative edge of the clock. So if the clock is negative edge, then as we are connecting this toggle input to 1, so the next state is a complement of present state, and hence it becomes 1. Whereas this is applied as clock to the second flip-flop. So we have a transition from 0 to 1, which is considered to be a positive edge in the clock of the second flip-flop. As there is a positive edge, so the flip-flop will not change its state. It remains in the present state. So now what is the transition in the second flip-flop output? 0 to 0. Do we have a negative edge here? No, which is given as clock to the third flip-flop. So as again we have 0 to 0 transition. So again QC will also remains in the same state. Now during the next negative edge, so what happens as we are connecting T to 1? So again next state is a complement of present state. Now the output will change from 1 to 0. So which is applied as a clock to the second flip-flop. So now we have a transition here 1 to 0. So this is considered as negative edge to the second clock. So now this will be toggled. So this is 1. This becomes 1 because the present state is 0 and next state is a complement of present state. So which will now become 1. And what is the transition we have? 0 to 1. Is it a negative edge? No, it is a positive edge. So will the third flip-flop change its state? No, it remains in the same state. So what is the next state we have come across? 0, 1, 0. Initially it was 0, 0, 0. During the first clock pulse, the state was 0, 0, 1. During the second clock pulse, it was 0, 1, 0. And during the next, so here, now what do we have? So now, what is the, now again, this will change to 1. So what is this one? This is a positive edge. So again, this will not change its state. It remains in the present state. So what was the present state here? 1, and it remains in the present state. So now what is the transition in the clock we have? 1 to 1. So again it will remain in the same state, that is 0. So now let us see during the next clock pulse what happens. Again it will change to 0. So what is the transition we have? It is 1 to 0. So it is negative edge. So now it toggles. So that means as the present state is 1, next state becomes 0. Now what is the transition we have? 1 to 0. It is considered to be now negative edge, and hence this the next state of third flip-flop will be toggled here, and hence it becomes 1, 0, 0. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on up to 7 it will count. So now what happens if it is 7? So now let us consider this is 7. So now during the clock pulse, so it will toggle. So it becomes 0 now. So as it is 1 to 0. So now what happens? This is given as clock to the second. So what is the transition we have? 1 to 0. That means this comes across a negative edge at the second flip-flop. Negative edge clock at the second flip-flop. And hence this also toggles. So now again, the second flip-flop output also changed from 1 to 0, which is given as clock input to the third flip-flop. So what we can observe here, again we have a transition from 1 to 0. That means we can have a negative edge, and hence again the third flip-flop can also change its state to 0, 0, 0. So that is after 1, 1, 1, again it goes back to the initial state 0, 0, 0. Again the count will be repeated. So this is the operation of 3-bit asynchronous counter. Let us have a look at the timing diagram. So this is a timing diagram here. So this is a clock pulse during the, and these are the initial state of all 3 flip-flops here, 0, 0, 0. During the negative edge, first flip-flop changes its state, that is toggles, it is 1. So as we have a transition from 0 to 1, so it is raising edge. So second flip-flop will never change its state because it is having a transition we have here in the first flip-flop 0 to 1. So never changes, and here this is also never changes. And during the next negative edge, it will change from 1 to 0. Now we have a negative edge here. Now as we have a negative edge, so again the output of the second flip-flop will be toggled. So which is the complement of present state. So where the present state is 0, and hence it changes to 1. So now what is the transition we have in the second flip-flop? 0 to 1. Is it a negative edge? No, it is a positive edge. So again, the third flip-flop will never change. its state, and hence it remains in the present state. Now again, during the negative edge of the clock, it changes its state from 0 to 1. So whereas we can observe a change in the clock of second flip-flop as 0 to 1, it is a rising edge, so no change. It is also no change. Now during the fourth clock pulse, we have a transition in the first output, flip-flop output as 1 to 0, so which is again falling edge. Now again the output will be toggled of the second flip-flop 1 to 0. So now this is applied as clock to the third flip-flop, where we have a transition from 1 to 0, and hence the third flip-flop is also toggled its state from 0 to 1. So like that, it can count the pulses. Initial state was 0 0 0, next 0 0 1, 0 1 0, 0 1 1, next 1 0 0, 1 0 1, 1 1 0, and 1 1 1. And finally we have 0 0 0. And again the count repeats. So this is 3-bit asynchronous up counter. Now let us see the down counter. So what do you mean by down counter? The counter which counts the pulses in the decremental order is known as down counter. So here, now again, this can also be constructed using flip-flops. Only a slight difference is there between the up counter and down counter. Now let us see that. So the clock pulse input is given only to the first flip-flop, same as the asynchronous up counter. The clock input of the remaining flip-flops is triggered by the Q output of the previous flip-flop. So that means the output of one flip-flop is given as clock input to the next flip-flop. Only the clock pulse whose pulses are to be counted or given as input to the clock input to the first flip-flop. So here, now I want to design a 3-bit down counter. So only the difference is we can in up counter we have taken the Q output of all the flip-flops as output. But here in this down counter, we have to take the complemented output of flip-flops as output here. Whereas again, QA complement is considered as LSB and QC complement is considered as MSB. And one more thing, we can also design the down counter in another fashion. That is, instead of connecting the Q output of first flip-flop as input to the clock input to the second flip-flop, we can also connect Q bar as clock input to the second flip-flop, and the Q bar of second flip-flop is connected as clock input to the third flip-flop. So either of the way, either you can take the complemented outputs as output, or else you can even connect instead of connecting Q to the clock input of next flip-flop, you can connect Q bar as clock input to the next flip-flop, and you can take Q as the output. So that is either of the way you can implement 3-bit, not 3-bit, any asynchronous down counter. So what I'm doing here, I'm connecting Q to the clock of second flip-flop, that means next flip-flop, and I'm taking complemented output of flip-flop as output. That means instead of taking QA, QB, QC, I'm taking QA complement, QB complement, and QC complement as the output here. Now let us see how it operates. Now initially let us consider the flip-flop reset here 0 0 0. So that means QA complement becomes what? 1 1 1. So if QA is 0, QA complement becomes 1. So that is how the initial state was 1 1 1. So this is QC complement, QB complement, QA complement. Now let us see. So what happens during the first negative edge of the clock? So QA becomes 1 here. So this becomes 1, and hence QA complement becomes 0. So what is a transition we have here? 1 to 0. What are all the flip-flops here? We have considered negative edge trigger. So we have a transition from 1 to 0, so which is a negative edge trigger, and hence QB complement will also change to 0. So as QB complement is also changing from 1 to 0, which is given as clock to the third flip-flop. So and hence again the third flip-flop will also change its state from 1 to 0. So that means initially it was 111. Just a second. Okay. So let us analyze the operation with the help of clocks timing diagram here. So I'm taking clock pulse here, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the clock pulses, and all the flip flops are considered to be negative edge trigger. So here QA. So as QA is applied with the clock signal, so that means the first flip flop is applied with the clock signal. So it will change its state. So here initially it was 0, it changes its state to 1. So I have considered the QA bar simultaneously. So as QA is 0, QA bar is 1. So as QA now change it to 1, it becomes now 0. Okay. So now what happens to QB? Initially it was 0. So now what is the transition we have here? The transition from 0 to 1, and hence as the transition is from 0 to 1, so the second flip flop will never change its state and remains in the present state itself. So 0, 0, where QB bar is 1, 1. Now let us see, do we have a transition in the QB here? No, we have a 0 to 0 transition. So again QC will remain in the present state 0, 0. So QC complement will be 1, 1, 1. Now if you observe the present state here, that means the initial state 1, 1, 1. Whereas during the first negative edge of the clock, what is the state we have obtained? 1, 1, 0. So that is 1, 1, 0. Next, during the negative edge of the next negative edge of the clock here, again the first flip flop changes its state from 1 to 0. So now we have a negative clock edge, and so as it is changing from 1 to 0, the QB bar will be changing from 0 to 1. So now as it is changed to 1 to 0, so now what happens? We have a negative edge, and hence the QB, that is the second flip flop, will also change its state from 0 to 1. So this is 0 to 1. As QB is changed from 0 to 1, QB complement will change from 1 to 0. So now what happens? So what is the transition we have in the second flip flop? 0 to 1. Is it a negative edge? No, it is a positive edge. So the third flip flop will not change its state. It remains in the 0 state only, and hence QC complement is 1, 1, 1. So that means what is the state now? 1, 0, 1. So that is initially it was 1, 1, 1, and it changed it to 1, 1, 0, and then during the next clock pulse 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, and so on. Let us try to analyze what happens after 0, 0, 0. So now as QA bar 0, QC 0, 0, 0. QA becomes what? 1. So now it is 1. During the next negative edge, what happens? It changes from 1 to 0. Now as it is changing from 1 to 0, the QA bar can be considered as 1. So now it is applied as clock to the next flip flop. So what is the transition we have? 1 to 0. 1 to 0 means again it is a negative edge, and hence the second flip flop will also change its state. What is the present state? 1. Now it will change it to 0. So as it is changed to 0, now what about the complemented output? It becomes 1. Now as we have a transition here, again 1 to 0 in the second flip flop. So the third flip flop also changes its state. So what is the present state here? 1. So again it will change to 0. As it is 0, now the QC complement will become now 1. So now what is the present state here? That is 1, 1, 1. So that means after 0, 0, again it will go back to 1, 1, 1. That means initially the down counter will start the count from 1, 1, 1, and it will be decremented by 1 for every clock pulse, and it will go back to 0, 0, 0. Once it has reached 0, 0, 0, again the count will be starting from 1, 1, 1, next 1, 1, 0, and so on. That means initially it starts from 1, 1, 1, that is 7, and it will go up to 0. Once the count state is becoming 0, again it will enter into the next state as 1, 1, 1. So this is the operation of asynchronous down counter. So now we'll see the up down counter. So as I told you that we can have bidirectional counter. That means we can count in the incremental order as well as in the decremental order. Such type of, that means the counting which is possible in both the directions, such type of counter is called as bidirectional counter or else up down counter. So as we are designing an asynchronous counter, we are calling it as asynchronous up-down counter or asynchronous bidirectional counter. So this is a circuit diagram of synchronous up-down counter. So we have some extra logic circuit here, AND OR circuit, and also we have one extra control input, that is up-down control input. So this control input is used mainly to decide to whether to operate in the incremental mode or to operate in the decremental mode, or else in order to make this counter to work as up counter or down counter, we will be considering this control input. So if the control input is 1, then it can operate as an up counter. If the control input is 0, then it can operate as a down counter. So that is the major purpose of this one. What happens? So remaining everything is same. We do have AND OR circuit which is connected. That means the control input along with the output of the flip-flops are given as input to the AND OR logic, and the output of this AND OR logic is given as the clock input to the flip-flops here, second and third flip-flops. Now let us see here what happens. So here this is the control input. Let us consider this as 1. Now what happens? In which mode it is operating? It operates in the incremental mode. Now let us see how it operates in the incremental mode. So here QA, QB, QC, these are the outputs taken from the 3 flip-flops here. So now as we all know that all these 3 flip-flops are T flip-flops in which the toggle input is connected to logic 1. So that means every time the output will be complemented to each other because we have connected the toggle input to logic 1, and hence the next state will be the complement of present state. So here now let us see what happens when the up-down control input is 1. So here this line will be 1, and as it is inverted here, this line will be 0. So the upper line is connected to the logic gates 1 and 3. Odd AND gates it is connected. So the odd AND gates, that is 1 and 3, are enabled, whereas 2 and 4 are disabled. As 1 and 3 are enabled here, so now what happens? Here this is connected as input. So now what is happening here? Now this is JK. So here we are taking QA. So as this is enabled, so Q is connected to the output Q of the first flip-flop is connected as the clock input to the second flip-flop. So as I already told you that if the Q output is connected as clock to the next flip-flop, then the counter operates as an up counter. So that means as Q is now, because 1 is enabled here, so Q is connected as clock signal to the second flip-flop, because one of the input to the second AND gate is 0. So that means this is disabled, this is enabled. So Q will be now connected as clock to the second flip-flop. As we are connecting Q input as a clock input to the second flip-flop, it works as up counter. It works as up counter. So this is up counter. So even if you see here 3 and Q output is connected as input to the, so Q output is connected as clock input to the third flip-flop, and hence it works as up counter. Now what happens if this is 0? If it is 0, now this becomes 0 and this becomes 1, and hence this 1 and 3 logic gates are disabled, whereas 2 and 4 are enabled here. So as 2 and 4 are enabled, now what happens? So this is 1 and Q bar is connected to the clock input of the second flip-flop. As I told you that either you can connect the Q input to the clock and you can take the complemented outputs. As I am taking the true outputs of the flip-flops as state of the counter. So what we are doing, in order to make this counter to work as a down counter, I am connecting Q bar as clock to the second flip-flop. Next, similarly, Q bar of second flip-flop is connected as clock to the third flip-flop. So, and hence it can operate as a down counter. So that means what you have to remember, when the countdown up or down input is equals to 0, it operates as a down counter. If it is 1, it operates as an up counter. So that is about the asynchronous counter. We have seen asynchronous up counter, asynchronous down counter, and asynchronous up down counter. Now let us see synchronous counter. As I told you that there is no much difference between the asynchronous and synchronous counter. Only the difference here is all the flip-flops are applied with same clock pulse. So that means the synchronous counter is also an application of flip-flop in which each flip-flop of the counter is triggered with the same clock pulse applied. Or else we can also say that each flip-flop of the counter is triggered at the same time through the clock pulse input. And it is said to be synchronous counter. That means all the flip-flops are working with the same counter or else changing its state with the same counter, same clock pulse. We are calling it as synchronous counter. So even for the designing of synchronous counter, we'll be using T flip-flops here, where the clock pulse is applied to all the flip-flops which are used in the counter. So again, the synchronous counters are classified into three types: synchronous up counter, synchronous down counter, and synchronous up down counter. Now let us see the 3-bit synchronous up counter. So as we are designing a 3-bit counter, we require 3 flip-flops. As we are using 3 flip-flops here, it can undergo 8 states. So as I'm telling you that it is a 3-bit up counter, so we can that counter can undergo states from 000 to 111. So as it is an up counter, it counts the pulses in the incremental order. Initial count will be considered as 0, and it will be for every clock pulse it will be incremented by 1. So the next will, that means up to 111 it will go. Once the counter has become state has become 111, and it will go back to the initial state 000. So this is the operation of this is the thing that we need to know about synchronous counter. So here we have 3 flip-flops in which the output of the first flip-flop is given as input to the second flip-flop. So here now the third flip-flop output is the first and second flip-flop outputs are ANDed together and given as input to the third flip-flop. So that you have to understand. So we have used 3 flip-flops here, 3 T flip-flops. All the 3 T flip-flops are applied with the same clock pulse, whose pulses are to be counted. And the first flip-flop input is connected to logic 1, whereas the second flip-flop is applied with the input, which is nothing but the output of the first flip-flop output QA is given as input to the second flip-flop, whereas the first flip-flop and second flip-flop outputs are ANDed together and are given as input to the third flip-flop. And we will be taking the output of all the flip-flops at a time. So that is QA, QB, QC. And the QC is considered as MSB and QA is considered as LSB. So now let us see the operation of the synchronous counter. So now what happens? So here initially all the flip-flops are reset. So that means initially all the flip-flops are the outputs of all the flip-flops are 000. Now let us consider this is 1. So as the input to this one is 1. So all the flip-flops are applied with the same clock pulse. All will change its states with respect to negative edge of the clock. So here during the negative edge of the clock, so now what happens? As the initial state was 00. Now here during the negative edge of the clock, as we are applying the first flip-flop with the input 1. So now what happens? The state of the flip-flop will be toggled. So that means it will be changed to 1. Now this is pushed here. So that means 0. So again the output of this one is 0. So now what is the output of this one? 1. And this one is 0. So the output of this one 1, 0. So the output of the AND gate becomes 0. So as the toggle input is 0, it remains in the present state. So and hence the next state is also 0. So now let us see here during the first clock negative edge of the clock. So the QA is changed to 1 because it is connected to logic high. Okay. Whereas QB is 0 because the 0 of output of first flip-flop is given as input to the second flip-flop, and hence it will never change its state and it remains in 0. And the third flip-flop is also 0. Next, during the next negative edge, so what happens? As it is connected to 1, again the output will be changed to 0. What was the previous output? It is 1. Now it is given as input to this one. So as toggle input is 1, now what happens? Now the state of this one becomes 1. So now what is the output of this one? This is 1 now, and this is 0 now, and this is 1. Again the output is 0. So that means again the T input of the third flip-flop is 0, and hence the next state is equals to the present state. So it remains in the present state. So 0, 1, 0. Now again during the negative edge, so now what happens? This toggles, so 1. So this 1 will be applied as this input to this one. So and hence the toggle input of the second flip-flop is 1, and hence it changes its state. So that is sorry, it was 0. So 0 will be now applied as input to the second flip-flop. As a toggle input is 0. Now what happens? It will never change its state. It remains in the present state 1. Whereas now this one is applied as input to the third flip-flop. So where the toggle input is 1 now. So what happens? Now the third flip-flop changes its state from 0 to 1. So like that it undergoes different states here. So now the first state initially 0, 0, 0. Now it has changed its state from 0, 0, 0 to 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, and so on, triple 1. And finally it goes back to the triple. So for example, let us erase all these. Now let us consider what happens when all are initially at 1 and 1. So this is 1, this is 1, and this is 1. So now what happens? As it is 1, it becomes toggle. As it is 1, it toggles here. This is 0. Now this 1 is pushed here. So now as the toggle input to the second flip-flop is 1, now again this changes its state to 0. So 0 into 0, 0. So now okay. So as it is 0 here, now it will not change its state to so it will remain in the 0th state. So this is the operation of 3-bit synchronous counter. Similarly, we can have 4-bit synchronous up counter, in which we can use 4 flip-flops which can undergo 16 states. Those are from 0, 0, 0 to 4 ones. So here, similar to the 3-bit synchronous up counter, what we have given the first flip-flop output and second flip-flop output ANDed together and given as input to the third flip-flop. So in this case, what we need to do is, we need to apply the second flip-flop and first flip-flop output are given at, and third flip-flop. All the 3 flip-flops. This is the first flip-flop output, second flip-flop output, third flip-flop output are ANDed together and given as input to the third flip-flop. So, this is the timing diagram. Initially 0, 0, 0, and during the negative edge of the clock. So what happens? The first flip-flop changes its state because it is connected to logic 1, and the remaining all remains in the same state 0, 0, 0. So this is the number of states that a 4-bit synchronous up counter can go. See, and the operation is similar to the 3-bit synchronous up counter. So now let us see the up-down counter. So that is synchronous up-down counter, in which we can count in the incremental order as well as in the decremental order. And we can also call it as bidirectional counter because we are able to count in either direction, that is in incremental order and decremental order. So now this is the a circuit diagram of synchronous up-down counter. So similar to the asynchronous up-down counter, we do have AND OR logic here, and also we have a control input, that is up-down control input, based on which it can operate in the incremental order or else in the decremental order. So here, now let us see the operation of this one. So here, okay, what happens when the control input is 1? When the control input is 1, this is 1 and this becomes 0. This becomes 0. So here, as it is 1, so all this AND gate is 1. This AND gate is enabled, whereas this AND gate is getting 0. So this will be disabled. And similarly, so now as this is enabled, so what is the output of this AND gate? This is QA we are getting. So QA, and this QA is applied one of the input to this one. Okay, and here this is QB. So QA into QB is applied as input to the third flip. So this is the operation. This is what happening when the control input is up down control input is 1. So when the up down control input is 1, logic gate 1 is the AND gate 1 is enabled, and hence the output of this AND gate 1 is QA, and the QA is given as input to the toggle input to the second flip flop, whereas to the third flip flop the inputs are given as QA and QB. So that means QA and QB, that means the output of first flip flop and second flip flop are ANDed together and given as toggle input to the third flip flop. So that is up counter. It just performs, it just works as an up counter. So this is the logic circuit, this is the timing diagram of up counter when the control input, up down control input is 1. So now what is happening here? Initially, if you consider QA and QB are 0, 0. Okay, 0, 0, 0. Then what happens? As we have connected the toggle input of first flip flop as high, so it will change its state during the first negative edge of the clock. So and hence it will be 1. Whereas this is given as input to the third flip flop. So 0 into 1, 0. So 0 is given. So and hence the third flip flop will never change its state. And what is the output of the second flip flop? So QA is given as input to this one. What is QA? 0. So 0 was given as toggle input. So again it remains in the same state. So now what happens? During the next negative edge, again this will change its state 1 to 0. Now what happens to the second flip flop? So second flip flop, 1 is given as input. So what was the present state? 0. So as it is given as input to the second flip flop, so toggle input. So as the toggle input is 1 now, it will change its state, complement. Now what happens to the third flip flop? So third flip flop, this is given as input. So 0. So as it is 0 toggle input, so it remains in the same state, 0. Now this is the state. So again, so same way, it goes through 8 states. So that is from 0, 0, 0 to 1, 1, 1. Again, once the count has become 1, 1, 1, it go back to it. It is going back to its present state, which is next state as 0, 0, 0. Okay, so this is when control input is 1. Now what happens when the control input is 0? So when the control input is 0, so this is 0, this is 1 now. So the AND gate 2 is enabled now. AND gate 2 is enabled now. So now this is enabled as this is 1. The output of, whereas this is disabled, so the output of this one is 0. So this is QA complement. So the QA complement is given as input to the toggle flip flop. So what we are getting here? QA complement. Okay, next up. Here what happened? Here it is 0. So as it is 0, now this is coming as 0 here. So again this gate is disabled. Now this is given as input to the fourth AND gate here. So now what I am getting here? QA complement. And what is the other input to this fourth AND gate? QB complement. So that is QA complement and QB complement are given as input to the third flip flop. So that means as we are connecting the complemented output here as input to the toggle input to the flip flop here, so it works as a down counter. So here now let us see the output of this synchronous up down counter when the control input is 0. So now the control input is 0. Initially I have considered all the inputs as ones here. So now during the negative edge of the clock, so what happens? The first flip flop changes its state because it is connected to high, it changes its state. And what about this one? So as QA is 1, so QA complement becomes 0. So QA complement is given as toggle input to the second flip flop. As it is 0, it remains in the same state. So what is the present state? 1. So it remains in the same state. So now again, this is as it is remaining the same state. So this is 0 now. Because the present state is 1, complement becomes 0. And again Q complement was 0. So both are becoming 0. So as TC is also 0. So again it remains in the present state. So QC and QB are remaining in the present state, whereas QA only changing its state to 0. So like that it undergoes different state. Next state 101. So Like that, it counts from, initially it was 111 and it has gone through 1112. So let us draw the state diagram. 110, next 101, next 100, and next it will, after 100 it will go to 011, and then 010, and then 001, and then 000, and again it will go back to 111. So this is a state diagram of down count. So this is the operation of synchronous bidirectional counter, or else it's synchronous up down counter. When the control input is 1, it operates as an up counter. When the control input is 0, it operates as a down counter. So that means it can operate, or else it can count the pulses in both the directions, that is in the incremental order and in the decremental order. So that is how that is the operation of asynchronous and synchronous counters. So in this lecture we have discussed about the types of counters, synchronous and asynchronous counter, and even in the synchronous and asynchronous counters are further classified into up counter, down counter, and up down counter. So we have seen the operation of all these. So I hope it is clear to everyone. So where the counters are the major applications of flip-flops. So we have used flip-flops in the designing of counters. So I think it is clear to everyone. That's all for this lecture. Thank you, one and all.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.